Hey YouTube, League Turnover Day, so Retro Cup, which is no Fairy, no Dark, and no Steel. And I said that when that happened, obviously the Flyers got a huge bump because Steel is one of the toughest answers to Flyers. So I started with the Noctowl. Instead of just doing Lantern, I caught a rank 1 Quagsire. So I was like, you know what, I want to try it, even if it's non-shadow. I want to test it out here. So it's a very easy team, balanced team, right? You usually have Lantern in there instead, but Quagsire just does the job just as well because it has Stone Edge to cover that plus the Mud Bombs there, and then Lickitung is safe swap. So did well with this team again as expected with the sort of meta team. They come in Dragonair, and I don't need to get out. This is the thing with the Owl. If unless you're seeing like an ice, and even an ice, like I stayed in against an Abomasnow, so it's not even all ice. It's just like pure ice. You really don't need to leave much in this meta right now. I mean, rock too, rock and lantern, rock and electric. I'm not gonna say that there's nothing there, but they came in here, and I could very easily just almost take it out. I grabbed the shield, so I'm fine going down here because I want to try and get a bit ahead on energy here because I think this with energy could be pretty dangerous. I just go for the Mud Bomb because I know, having just gone up against 1,000 Haxorus is so glassy. Oh my god, so glassy. I can probably take a move here, so I just let it go. It does hurt. This thing is like the ultimate glass cannon Haxorus, but Quagsire is quite tanky. I was worried about getting farmed down completely, but I do throw, and they catch on a Marowak, which is an interesting catch because you're catching a super. I guess I am lowered, but I'm now up 2 shield. I can lick all the way down in this game. Yeah, this game is beyond over. Crest, I saw a few Crests in this team. Does very well against Crest in general because I have 2 answers for it, right? I have the Owl with the Shadow Balls, and I have Lickitung with the Licks. So I just, once I give up switch to Politoed, I figured that unless they have a Blizzard, which I don't think that was, I mean, I don't know. I don't think it was, and it was end up just being a Wither Ball. I'm like, I could probably just stand here and take this matchup and then align my Lickitung on their Cresselia, and I'll be fine. So that's the thought process. I already got 1 shield. Looks like we CMP there, which is okay. I'll match the shield here. This thing is still so busted. It was just really strong for me. I think like it really anchored the team, the Owl here. So I take switch. I have energy. If the Crest comes back in, he's gonna get Shadow Balled. So get the Shadow Ball off. So it only does like 50% because Crest is so tanky. Not even. And they come in Zapdos, so that's spicy. But the thing with Quagsire is, did I say Quagsire the first time? Quagsire. It's spammy. It's spammy with these Stone Edges. So they get the second drill pick off, that's fine. I get the first Stone Edge. This will one shot if they let it go. And they do. And then at this point, I've already got 1 because the Lickitung is just licked down. But I just want to see like how spammy is this and how much damage does it do to and again, so the non-shadow, like it'll take a couple Mud Bombs from this range. So the non-shadow does lack a bit of the punch. But overall, like it was still very, very strong. Came in here, try and grab the last shield. Again, I don't really need to. I think I just full lick down it at this point if I wanted. It's not like they're going to take me out with any moves here. So I could have just came in with Lickitung to end this game. But they Moonblast me there. And this now is like, yeah. Giraffe Brigade. So again, you're standing here. And that's the thing. Like, you're really only leaving because Steel is not in here. This is why I think Flyers are pretty safe right now. So if you want to use this or Pelipper or another Flyer, I think it's a safe lead right now in the fact that one of your biggest weaknesses in Steel is gone. So you only need to worry about Rock, and like one of the hardest Rock answers was also Bastiodon, which is half Steel, so it's gone. So there's not a ton of Rock to deal with you. There's some, but not much. And then you have Lantern, which is just an easy one. You pivot into Lickitung. And and then ice. And then ice is tricky. Ice depends on the Pokemon because like I said, I ran into Abomasnow on the lead and I just stayed in because it's half grass and you can live a weather ball. And then there is like a Frostlass, which I would probably leave immediately into Lickitung. So the things that actually hurt you should be answered by Lickitung Safe Swap. Relatively easy, so it just depends what they have on their in the mid game there. Unfortunately here, I get hit against what ends up being a power-up punch Medicham. So I come in here and catch it, but now I just caught a power punch and this thing is just going to ramp up like crazy and I'm now just going to be taken out because although I'm doing super effective lick damage, these stab counter, power punch two times buff now is just going to be too overpowering for this team. The good thing about running this team is if you run into the Owl Lantern core yourself, you're going to beat the Lantern in the back with the Mudshot Mud Bombs. So they end up having Frostlass in the back. So I do get a Stone Edge off, but it's not enough to take out. And this is where I'm wondering, this is where the Shadow would have been better because I would have one-shotted as a Shadow and I would have just farmed. Yeah, I almost farmed that down. So Shadow would have one-shotted. So there is your Lantern. They're a bit slow on the... They're a bit slow there, so I baited here, knowing that if Dugong's coming in as a safe swap, it's likely going to want to lower my attack before taking any moves. So I just baited the body slam there because I figured that they want to Icy Wind me before letting a move go through. And then at this point, I'm like, yeah, they're not going to double shield a Dugong mid game, so I am going to hit this here. And now my mind is fully on flip switch. Because if I can get my Quag on their Lantern, I'm in a really good spot here. And I get to another Power Whip. So I'm going to take Switch and a Shield advantage. So Lickitung putting in work in the mid game there. They have a second Ice, which is unfortunate, but that is okay because my win condition is Quag. So I'm going to chip this. I'm going to just sacrifice this essentially. I thought you were going to run with Quag to win. I was very, very distracted while playing this game. So I shielded by just randomly tapping. Don't play distracted. That's fine. I end up grabbing the last shield. This one I will let go because I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I should focus on this matchup. Let it go. Come in here, catch an Ice School Spear. I'm not worried about the Lantern because the Lantern can only throw surfs at me, right? So I'm more worried about these Icicle Spears, especially since they got... did they get buffed again? Yeah. So I'm just like, let's just take this out. I really don't want to take a move unnecessarily. And I know that they're in Mud Bomb range. And then worst case scenario, do I have some energy on... I think I have some energy on the Owl. Worst case scenario. But this is the thing. It only takes 2 mud shots and mud bombs to take out, and I doubt that the Shadow would make it 1 mud shot, like 1 mud bomb. So this is where this one was probably more helpful, just being non-Shadow, just being able to take it out with 2 mud bombs there. So I don't have any regrets building this up. Like if you only have enough, I mean, I don't think you need a ton of dust and. Yeah, this was not insignificant dust because it was a pretty low. So it cost me like 150,000 dust. And I had the candy. Like candies is not the issue because you should have a ton of Wooper candies if you've played for more than like a year. So if you want to build up a regular and a Shadow, I wouldn't hate that. Like I think you can get away with the non-Shadow version. The Shadow is ranked better and has better matchup, but I found this fine playing it today here. Lickitung as safe swap was great. I did not see as many fighters, which is not surprising considering 2 of the biggest weaknesses to fighter are gone. You might be thinking like, oh, Fairy's banned, so you're going to see more fighters. It's like, yeah, but Dark and Steel is also banned, so there's the 2 things that you hit super effective against. So then it's like you just hit super effective against normal is the only thing you have now. I end up coming in here because I was just like, I want to get ahead on energy. I don't want to get farmed down by the Vigoroth and have them come out with a bunch of energy. So that was good. Now it's just, I can live this. Quag is pretty tanky. So I can just take this Body Slam with ease. I can't take another one, but I am just here to chip like crazy. There's one Mud Bomb. I'm going to throw the second one as soon as I get it. They do CMP, so good counting on their part. But I'm pretty sure I'm close to a Sky Attack on the Owl, and they've got to be pretty dry now. Yeah, I'm very close to a Sky Attack because I have the Sky Attack. Able to get this off just short of KOing. They're going to have to throw, or else I'm going to farm down, and I farm down for the win. So there's your Abomasnow, and this is one where you just kind of stay in because they're grass, right? So you're both doing super effective against each other. You are going to be outpaced significantly, but you can survive one with ease, especially from a non-shadow. So I think what I do is I take it. I lose switch, but I take 2 shields here if I remember, because these powder stones are adding up way faster here, and they CMP. So nicely done. I am just going to force them to either let me take switch or grab the second shield. The only problem with this is I will get the second shield, great. They're gonna be loaded with energy. Like they're gonna have like 8 or 9 turns worth of energy there. And they come in with their own owl. So this is tricky. This is where you would want a lantern, right? This is why, because those Sky Attacks are still adding up. One Stone Edge is not anywhere near enough taking this out from a non-shadow here. Like, I don't know if I did like 60%, if I remember. Yeah, like it was enough that you needed 2. I don't want to shield because I know the Abomasnow is loaded with energy, so there's no point of shielding. I can live. So I will take this out, which is good, but now the Abomasnow is going to get even more energy, so they're going to have like back-to-back energy balls almost at this point, which is going to add up real quick on the Lickitung here. So there's one energy ball and a defense fall. So I have to shield. At this point, it's kind of tricky being already down half health. First, I have no idea what's in the bag yet. But half being this low is already, and defense fallen. I don't know. Gel Sense is a potential win condition. Unfortunately, with these surfs, not anymore. The surfs are going to come just too quick. 4-3 here, so they're at 4-5. They'll get 1 surf off. Is it 4-3? Do they need 2 more? 6, 7? Yeah, they have it there. Right? So it's close. But just unfortunately, too much damage was done on the Abomasnow there. By the Abomasnow. And last one, again, Crest on the lead. Great lead. Isn't great lead because of the Shadow Ball, so good catch on the Lickitung. So it was a good catch, but it wasn't good. I remember this moment. I was like, crap, good catch on a normal type Pokemon. And I'm like, that normal type Pokemon is Lickitung, where Lick is now resisted by, oops, talk about where Lick is resisted by the normal typing on the Owl there. I forgot to put that in. I was so used to single typing Cup. There it is. I'm sure people have already commented on that. But now I'm going to easily take this matchup. So I am farming up a ton here. I'm almost at 2 Sky Attacks. The Licks are just resisted, so they can't do much. So they caught a Shadow Ball, but I'm at a Shadow Ball again, right? And I took out a Lickitung already. So they throw ahead, so nicely done. Like, a shield, interesting. Yeah, okay, just to try and get off the Shadow Ball. Not a bad idea. Thinking I can maybe get to another one or force them to throw again. Plus these wing attacks are adding up, right? They do chip. And now I have good alignment. Oh, and they only throw the grass knot, so that is even better. I will now get this move off. Stay there. And they caught it on red. Jesus. I just let it go down because I'm like, I just want to ensure that I have this perfect alignment here. Mud, which will do super effective against rock, and my Lickitung, which will do super effective against their Pokemon there. I could shield or not shield. I'll live one for sure. If I remember, I live it, and then I try and farm down, and I can't farm down. Yeah, and then I shield because I'm at so much energy, and Lickitung is just gonna, the lick damage is what's gonna win me this here. So let's just shield that, get a couple mud bombs off, start chipping, force the last shield maybe. If not, this game is already pretty much over. So yeah, tons of damage done. You don't even know what I have in the back, so you cannot let you cannot let your Pokemon get that low when you don't know what's in the back. They grass knot me. Okay, unfortunately for them. Unless it was like a Swampert, but like, no. Anyways, that's team. I am going to try and go a little more off. I just tried this team because I had the rank 1 Quag that I wanted to try, and I'm like, it's basically like a Lantern, so let's just do a balanced team with the Owl and save swap. I'll try more fun Pokemon, like, because I do think I think strategies like Double Dragon would work in this. I think some like double or triple, even triple if you want to get greedy, like triple Ghost with like Frostlass, Cofagrigus, maybe if you run Psychic on Cofagrigus, so you can have something to throw at normal type Pokemon. I think that works. So I'm going to try some like more outside of the box teams that are not just your typical balanced team like this. But anyways, let me know what you are running and if it's worked, and if it does, maybe I'll try it out because we have a week of this and I've got to punch out a bunch of videos. So that is it. Appreciate watching, appreciate the comments, and have a good weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.